I think, where we're like to start is kind of just taking a broad look at where we are at the planetary level and how it influences the health of animals, including humans, being one of those animals on the planet right now that are being intrinsically, you know, tied to this greater system of biology on the planet. And our industrial behavior over the last, century has really put us in a very precarious place as a planet as well as a species. And the animals that we care for around us are really in the eye of the hurricane, if you will. They take so much of the torrent of industrialization because of their interaction with the natural system that's more intimate than the kind of highly isolated human experience that we have in houses and offices and cars that are so separated from our nature. In some bizarre ways, that keeps us a little bit protected for what we've done to nature, and our animals are down in it. They're sniffing it. They're running around in it. They're rolling in the chemical milieu of what we've created. And so what we've created is basically a system in which we see human life and human innovation as an oppositional force to nature. And so we see nature opposed to us. And in that, we've created a whole industry that is trying to push nature back so that we can have a presence within biology. And good examples of this are in our crop management or in our landscaping in the cities and parks, recreational spaces and all that. We're constantly spraying to reduce biodiversity. And so we're spraying to kill all of the weeds, all of the natural flora and fauna, so that we can grow large lawns and put up large buildings that are not infested with insects or rodents or whatever it is. We're constantly pushing nature back so we can have these sterile monoculture environments for what we call human civilization. And so in this way, in our belief that somehow human life was separate from nature and that comfort would come only when we isolated ourselves away from nature, we invented a world in which we are killing the diversity of the planet. And we do that quite literally with our mousetraps and our insecticides inside the houses and spraying the houses for termites or whatever we're doing. But we inadvertently do that as consumers through our food system, perhaps greater than any other system. And I would say probably number two behind that would be cosmetics. But those two industries of food and cosmetics really put the vast majority of chemicals into our immediate environment for our pets and for ourselves. Third behind that, in more of the secondary environment toxicity, is things like our transportation and energy sectors that put carbon particulate in the air in the form of PM 2.5 and lots of things that get burned into the atmosphere that we would then secondarily breathe. But for those first points of contact, the food system and the agricultural environment around landscaping has put an enormous amount of herbicides into our environment. And herbicides and pesticides are symptomatic of a belief that, the monoculture belief system is important. That a lawn that's clear of anything but Kentucky bluegrass is a good thing. Or, a park without weeds is a good thing. Or a golf course that's completely devoid of life outside of, perfectly smooth green grass that's mowed at 1/8 of an inch, We've come up with these very odd, abstract concepts of what we should do to the natural world around us. And the result is a loss of biodiversity in our soils as much as it is at the level of the flora, the plant life around us. And so in this march, we've managed at this point to denature or deplete the natural resources within soil systems in 97% of the world's arable soils or farmable soils. And so with 97% of arable soils now depleted or severely depleted of their functional nutrients and microbiome, we're literally losing the mechanics of biology on the planet. And so we're seeing a vulnerability emerge from the planet that's leading to this sixth great extinction kind of phenomenon. And that phenomenon has now led to the point that we're now estimating we're losing one species to extinction every 20 minutes.
If ever anybody needed an immune system booster, it's dogs. Just consider how near to the ground dogs are. As a result, their bodies receive more than their fair amount of toxins. Dogs may potentially receive excessive amounts of antibiotics and vaccinations. Fortunately, there are inexpensive, simple-to-use natural dog immune system boosters. Learn more about those in the next video.